Hello, friends. Stephen Talbot here, of course. Today, my friends, is Wednesday, May the 9th, 2018, and it is my absolute pleasure to be recording this video for you guys to see. So, there's a guy named Alex who's inquired with me. He's a younger guy. I think he's 20, and I believe he's a student at MTSU. And he asked me a question yesterday, and I really appreciate the question. I had to give it a lot of thought, actually. His question was, and I'm summarizing here, but his question was something to the effect of, you've been in the gay world much longer than I've been. How do you deal with all the pressure and all the vanity? And it's certainly true that there can be a lot of pressure and vanity in the gay world, and I'm sure there can be likewise in any other subculture as well, but the gay people do seem to be vain, or they can be vain. I don't want my statement to be indicative of a stereotype that everybody meets, but I get where the question's coming from, and I understand him to some degree. I will have to say that while I hate to make up for other people's downfalls, and I hate to say, people shouldn't be so vain, I think really the answer comes to finding who you are in yourself. I've never really had self-esteem issues. I have to some degree, but, being a person who does not have a perfect body and someone who is heavy set, I have been thin before, but I managed to find my confidence in myself many, many years ago, and I think that is the answer. I think that once you find the confidence in yourself, you don't worry about vanity or pressure from the outside. I think that all you can do as a human being is look inward and treat people with respect always, no matter how vain or how much pressure you're under. You have got to always treat people with respect. And, I think the phrase applies here, kill people with kindness. Somebody can be a freaking bitch and just be the most vain person you've ever met. But, just crack a smile at them and be nice. That seems to have worked for me a lot. The other thing, too, is if there was a time in my life that ever I was self-conscious, it was definitely at the age of my early 20s. So just knowing that it will get easier and it will get better, I think that may not come as much comfort to you now. But I think that as I've grown as a person, you become more comfortable in your own skin, and you really just don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. And I know it sounds cliche a little bit because you hear that all the time. But the truth is that life is not that complicated, and let's get back to the basics. Life really is a lot simpler than what we would like to think it is. Be confident in yourself, be a kind person, always try your best. And you know what? If you're around people that make you feel bad about yourself, I think you have to question their motives, and I think you have to question their authenticity. And I think it's a clear cue. If someone brings you information, and I do have other videos on this now that I think about it. If someone brings you information that does nothing but put you in a bad light, or is some crazy comment about you that's not even true, you have to question that person's authenticity. And you have to question that person's motive. If someone brings you information that you can't do anything with, that you can't better yourself from, that you can't take and improve yourself with, then you have to question them why that person is bringing you that information. So I don't know the exact circumstances of why Alex asked me this question, but hopefully that shed some light on the way that I think about it. And of course, ask all the questions you have. I'm happy to hear specific circumstances or scenarios. But I'm a 36-year-old gay man. It's tough. It's tough being gay. At the end of the day, though, I have to admit that I feel like I've been really lucky and fortunate. And I haven't really had to deal. I talked to you guys about my video or my circumstances being fired recently. You know, this is the first time in my life that I've ever had to even deal with someone who discriminated against me for like who the fuck I am. I've been very fortunate. I think that if you are a positive person and you're in the light and you are, you know, just respectful and positive, caring, you know, just stuff, you know, I'll tell you what. There's a great book you should read. It's called, it's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I would highly recommend that you read it. Anybody who is dealing with this issue, it's not about self-esteem specifically, but it does help you put things into perspective. We are here on this earth for a very finite amount of time, and who has time for the bullshit? The older I get, the more I realize that I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't have time for the drama. You know, here's what I know. I know I'm on the right path and I'm saying the right thing when I get chills all up and down my body. That's how I know. You have to step outside of your own head sometimes. Sometimes we get in our own heads and we think that things are a much, much bigger issue than they really are. I'll tell you what's helped me with that is meditation, which I've told you guys 1,000 times. The Aware app is a great tool to sort of learn how to start meditating. You just have to get out of your own head. Things aren't as big as they seem. It's not that big of a deal. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, it's probably not nearly as big as you have made it in your head. You just have to be yourself and never be ashamed of who you are. Don't let the pressure get to you. Like, man, it's just like, these are growth opportunities for us. You, the person who feels like their self-esteem has been affected, these are growth opportunities for the people who are affecting our self-esteem. But everybody comes around to everything in their own time. I don't know if this was helpful at all, but I certainly hope that it was. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video in particular, give me a thumbs up. And of course, until next time, enjoy yourself.